Hey everybody, it's Dana. I am back for a second round. Um, it is Tuesday, March 27th, 2018, and this is numero dos on my videos. I watched my own video last night, and oh my god, I, I don't know if this happens to everybody, but I cannot stand my voice. I couldn't look at myself or hear myself. I sound like a fucktard. I don't like my voice. I sound like a man. Oh my god. Whatever. Anyway, I got through the video and um, it actually did lift some weight off my shoulders. So this is gonna be um, a regular basis for me. So every day, unless I'm feeling really horrible, but I'm doing really good right now. So let's not jinx that. Um, I'm going to do it every day. I'm going to have 30 minutes per video so I don't, overload you with information all at the same time. So, yeah, I'm going to limit it to 30 minutes each video. So, yeah, other than hating my own voice and seeing my face, it was very good. And I hate more than anything, I guess, that I have zero control over my emotions. That's something that I try to work on, but it's just, I don't know, it's just with my depression, anxiety, and all that stuff, it's hard to control. But, like I said, I'm going to do my best on every video not to cry. And I promise it won't be every video. But some of the things are emotional. I can't help it. So, whatever. Anyhow, let's see. I was gonna, I was gonna talk about today about my life prior to being sick, and how much, life I did actually live in a short amount of time, because I did cross a bunch of stuff off my bucket list that I did in my late teens, early 30s before all my really bad symptoms started. So I partied pretty hard, a lot. I worked, I was very responsible, but I always partied it up. And I'm glad I did, because I can't do that anymore. Can't drink anymore. So, and it's not, drinking is not a big deal to me. I don't think about it, so I don't drink. And it hurts my stomach. It is one of those things that, like, you have a little craving for something, and for me, I can't stand beer, so I go for something sweet, like White Russians. That's something that's settling on my stomach, but alcohol in general, I just don't drink. So, I wanted to continue from yesterday because there's some things that I left out. Um, the binders that I showed you yesterday that I brought in to that doctor on Friday, um, there was a letter in there from my Lyme disease specialist that he wrote it in 2011 when I retired. Um, he wrote this letter, has, the fuck do you call it? It has his information on the paper, and I'm brain fart. Don't know what it's called. Letterhead. Now you can see what happens to me. I think of it and I'm like, I have to blurt it out or it'll go away again. So, yeah, okay. So I have this letter here from my doctor, and I'm going to read it to you. This was the first thing that I tried to show her, and she wanted nothing to do with it. She didn't even look at it. I said I have my retirement letter, from retiring from Highway Patrol, and it lists all my, problem areas, and this is just from 2011 and before. I mean, things have added on to that, after from 2011 till now. I've been through a lot, just as much, bullshit as I did when I was working, but retiring saved my life, really. And it's just the stress. I didn't want, like I said yesterday, I didn't want to retire. That was not what I wanted to do. That broke my heart. It shattered it into pieces because I loved working. So I'm gonna read it to you because I just want you to know from my doctor's perspective of what I had, or have, excuse me, what I go through. And like I said, these medical conditions are just from 2011 and prior, so all my new stuff is not on here right now. Okay. So, here's my retirement letter from him, and then I want to read my retirement letter from me. I write better than I talk, because I don't know, I've always been that way. I type really fast, so I could type faster than my brain thinks, if that makes any sense. Anyway, okay. To whom it may concern, I am a board-certified family practitioner with practice emphasis on tick-borne diseases. I have seen over 2,000 patients with tick-related illnesses in private practice in Malibu and Redwood City, California. I am an active member of the International Lyme and Associated Diseases Society. In other words, ILADS. And a director for the California Lyme Disease Association. I am also a clinical consultant for IGeniX, which is the lab that they use. It's a special lab that does these specific testing for Lyme disease, Bartonella, all the other tick-borne diseases on top of Lyme. So, yeah, IGeniX is the lab that any Lyme specialist will use. I'm assuming any Lyme specialist uses it because, yeah, anyway. Oh, he said it right there. IGeniX, which is a laboratory specializing in Lyme disease and co-infections. I have spoken before the State Board of Medicine, have testified before California Senate Select Committee on Health, and have spoken at numerous engagements, most recently at the 2008 Lyme in Autism Conference. Currently, I maintain an active practice of 900 patients with Lyme and associated diseases. Now, 900 patients, he is so far past that now, 7 years later. And he has a new office that he just had made, or I just went to his new office last year when it finally opened. It's in Foster City, California. And yeah, like I said, 900 patients. That's not his current stats. Okay, this is him writing on behalf of me. Okay, I am writing you on behalf of my patient, Dana Brown. Dana has been diagnosed with the virus XMRV, chronic Lyme disease, Babesia, Bartonella, and Raynaud's disorder. And again, this is everything prior. Nothing new is on here. But I still have everything that he wrote down. It's something that I'll have for the rest of my life, unfortunately. On a daily basis, she suffers from a vast array of maladies, if I'm saying that right, that debilitate her health status, including severe joint pain, joint stiffness, back pain, back spasms, headaches, fatigue, malaise, weakness, muscle pain, cognitive slowing, which in my brain, poor short-term memory loss, inability to concentrate, inability to sit for an extended period of time, inability to stand for extended periods of time. So I kind of have to even it out. And anxiety, severe anxiety, mood swings. You don't want me around you with my mood swings. And it's not something I choose. It's how the doctors that I was seeing in California, one was a neurologist and the other one was my Lyme specialist. And the neurologist, which by the way, that doctor from Friday, she kept yelling in my face. Well, not yelling. She kept saying, repeatedly, I'm a neurologist, I'm a neurologist. I was going to say, oh, well, I was going to ask her if I could be a patient of hers for neurology because I don't see a neurologist anymore, but I need one. But then after the visit, I was like, fuck that. No way. So anyway, my neurologist in California explained mood swings, in other words, is such thing as, it's called Lyme rage. And I think everybody with Lyme disease has it. It's just your brain is like on a hair trigger for okay, my doctor said that I was on a hair trigger. I can't speak for everybody else. Hair trigger for a very bad anxiety. I'm trying to think of the word I'm trying to think of, but it's gone. So if I think of it, I will shout it back out at you. But yeah, so hair trigger for that. So I just have to, not warn people, but just make them aware of, the possibilities of how I'm gonna, live and act. And if I lash out, it's not because I'm a mean person, it's just out of frustration. And frustration piled on frustration. It's an ongoing thing, and it's just not fun. And then as well, my neurologist explained to me that my energy is like, hang on just a second. I'm marking something for myself, and I'm going to forget what I just said, but we'll go back to it. Okay, so my neurologist explained to me how my energy levels are on a day-to-day basis. And he explained it like everybody has a full tank of gas from the minute you wake up till, you go to sleep. He compared me to that as me only having 1 gallon of gas. And so I have to conserve that energy very wisely. And because I get worn out really fast. It doesn't take much at all for me to get worn out. And that's frustrating. I mean, every part of this disease is frustrating and it's irritating. It's just, I just think everybody should know, just to, I'm not doing this for pity or anything. I just want people to be aware of it and be aware of, where you are and what type of insects are around you. Bug spray. Oh my God. Bug spray is my best friend because I hate bugs for obvious reasons. So yeah, he explained that to me about my temper and my gallon of gas per day for energy. So I have to conserve it. And then also he says a little bit more about that further on down the page. So I will continue. So we left off at mood swings, tingling, numbness, poor blood circulation in the extremities, which is Raynaud's disorder. I, with my poor circulation, it makes me cold all the time. My hands and feet are always freezing, and when they're cold, they hurt because, you know, all the joints in your hands, just my hands kill me. And I'll give you an example of what happened to me with Raynaud's. My temperature doesn't sit at a normal body temperature. It's usually, I've caught it down to 90, 93 point something. When it was really bad, I have to run to the shower or run a hot bath, like a hot bath, and just I have to warm myself up immediately because that's dangerous. I mean, and it's not, obviously I can't control that, but it's something I have to be definitely aware of. And an example of it, one of the episodes I had with Raynaud's, I was working, and it was wintertime, and we went over to the our impound yard, and so I had gloves on. I had gloves on and my jacket. You know, I'm all dressed up warm, not thinking anything of it. So I get back to the office and I go to take my gloves off, and my ring finger was completely white, and I have a picture of it in my notes somewhere, and I will show you that when I find it. I just thought of it. But anyway, it was like it looked like a corpse's finger. Didn't look like my finger. I was engaged at the time, so I take my ring off so it doesn't get stuck on there, and I had to, I ran to the bathroom, and I was just running it under super hot water, and I was showing the whoever was in the bathroom with me, I don't remember, but I was standing at the sink just running my hands underwater, and they're like, "What's the matter, Dana?" Because there was, I was always in the bathroom throwing up, doing, resting, there was a couch in our bathroom, I just needed to rest as much as I could. But I tried to warm it up so I didn't have to go to the emergency room. And if it didn't come back, I was ready to go to the emergency room. I didn't want to lose my limb. And that's what happens to people with Raynaud's. They end up losing their extremities because their circulation cuts off, and it turns, on pictures I've seen on the internet, people turn like super purple, like their arms or their fingers, their feet, and they've lost toes and fingers and hands. It's a scary thing. Every single medical condition I have is a serious thing just to face it alone by myself, and to add to, there's so many different medical conditions that I have, so pile all that into one body, and it's a recipe for disaster. And I mean, my life is what it is, so I accept it, and I have. I mean, what am I gonna do? So I deal with it. Like anybody would. Well, not everybody, but it gets hard, and I understand the frustration that people have, and that have Lyme, and it's just it's not a fun thing. So yeah, that happened. So I ended up keeping my finger, thank God. They had to warm it up, and that's all it needed. It took about, I don't know, it was like that for a while, so it took just as much time as it did for it to happen to make it go away. So it took a few hours. I'm sorry, not a few hours. Jesus, Dana. At like 30 minutes, so like a half hour. It was like that. So, yeah. Oh, Dana. All right, let's continue. Lyme causes yeast issues in your digestive tract. Not regular, like, yeast infections. I don't get. It's yeast just feeds off of Lyme, or vice versa. Um, yeah. So, oh, it happens. I'm sorry for the pausing. That's just me trying to collect myself, and being only the second video in, I'm feeling almost comfortable, and I'm really happy about that. And yeah, I'm just feeling a lot more comfortable. And all your comments and shares, thank you so much for sharing this with other people. And I just want to help people. That's all. I just if I can help just one person from my medical issues, then I feel like that's what my purpose is for. For being here. I had to find a purpose, and that was it. So it makes me feel whole again. I with all the problems with it, but I feel whole again, like something was missing, and because of not working and stuff. So I found that helping others was very therapeutic to me. So I will continue to do that forever. And please ask me questions and comments and tips. Help me. If I'm doing, if you guys have tips for me on making these videos, I would so much appreciate it, because I want to make them as best as I can. And I see videos with, the please subscribe on the screen, and, other things on the screen. I don't know how to get that stuff on there. So I would greatly appreciate your help if someone would comment and help me out. That would be great. But thank you all for helping me. I appreciate it very much. I put this on Facebook, so that's where the shares came in. So I got my Facebook page. I have tons of comments, and I just absolutely was blown away. And I really appreciate everything that you guys have done for me over the years. It's my support system is amazing. I could never ask for a better support system. My friends, my family, all of you guys, whoever's watching, it's helped me get through a lot of horrific ordeals. So let me finish this letter up real quick. Got into something else. Okay, so poor blood circulation was the last thing I said, which in other words is Raynaud's disorder again. And yeast issues, irritable bladder. That's, I told you about that yesterday. The interstitial cystitis that flares up with certain foods, drinks, mostly acidic things will flare it up. But I find as I go, along, I find I'll have new food allergies. Like I'll know something's bothering me. But with the bladder, I have to make sure that I stay away from everything that touches that'll make my bladder flare up. And you know what? The worst fucking thing. I love pistachios. Me and my stepdad used to eat pistachios fucking all the time when I was a kid. Used to eat ice cream every night, and we'd eat pistachios. And I developed an allergy to them because of my bladder. Pistachios makes my bladder flare up like that. And I was so fucking pissed. I was so mad. It was sad because he still eats them, and I'm like, I want that. So, yeah. So, the irritable bladder is included. Extreme pelvic pain. And I told you, I mentioned that yesterday. And extreme depression, which I'm on a few different meds for. And this is going to help me as well. Because I feel like it's it's a soothing thing for me. So yeah, that is helping with my anxiety and depression. Okay. Pause. I gotta get water, as I'm gonna spill it everywhere. All right. Okay. Due to the signs and ongoing symptoms related to her medical conditions, it is my professional and medical opinion that she is mentally and physically unstable to continue work. Dana's health continues to decline and will continue to decline and debilitate if she continues to work. I believe for her to have any sort of quality of life with her conditions, it would be required for her to be at home in a stress-free environment, and that it is impeccable that she rest as much as possible. The more downtime, rest, and less stress she endures, the better chance she will have to receive some quality of life left. Please feel free to contact our office with any questions or concerns. So that was, like I said, this was written on March 8th, 2011. This letter right here, you see that it's not that long, right? I asked her to read it. That's all she needed to do was read it. And I told her, this is the guy you want to talk to. He's my main doctor. So this is what you're looking for, is what she was asking me. This fits the bill of what she was asking for. But again, she's like, we can't use that, which she didn't even read it. So how can she not be able to use something she's not even willing to look at? And yeah. So I wanted to use today for just like a part 2 of my first video to let you know what my doctors have me down of having, all my medical conditions that have surrounded me. Before she got mad at me, she said, we can call your doctor and get records. We'll call Renown, which is one of our hospitals I go to all the time for all my emergency stuff, and doctor stuff. It's a big hospital. And yeah, she said she would call them to get records, and then, so I was offering, I have every doctor's information. They have all the records that you could ask for. So, yeah. Anyway, she didn't want to look at it. End of story. I'm done talking about that fucking bitch. Sorry, I can't help it. She was unbelievable. Anyway, on that note, I have about a minute left. And I got out just what I wanted to, because I wanted to read that to you. And I also, on another video, I will read what I personally wrote. And I wrote so much better back then. It's very detailed and just perfectly said of how I feel. So that was good. So, on that note, I will leave you. Again, thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions for me, comments, like I said, comments, tips, suggestions, anything, please, please, please comment below and subscribe. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart, even to those who are reacting to this. It's building my confidence up a little bit again, and it's only been a day, and just after the first video I felt okay. I felt more confident. So thank you. Okay, I love you guys. Sending all my love and my healing vibes to all of those who are sick, who are ill, who are dealing with stuff that other people don't understand. So I send all my healing vibes to you and my big, big heart. So, peace out. I will see you tomorrow.